Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. Packers get the win over the Minnesota Vikings, 23-6. Packers move to 7-3-1. Vikings to 4-7. Packers headed to Detroit for a huge Thanksgiving day. I wish there were lesser games on Thanksgiving so I could, not ignore my family watching the TV all day. But Packers-Lions going to be a huge one. Usually at 12:30. I think it's 1 Eastern now. They've moved it back away from the tradition on John Madden Thanksgiving Day.
Is that allowed in the multifaceted celebration of John Madden?
I don't think we're allowed to change the time from 12:30 to 1, but I think the NFL has. Do they have no respect for tradition? So Packers take care of business. Vikings and J.J. McCarthy in the offense look bad.
Yeah, really bad. It was weird, though, because at halftime, these two teams were separated by 1 yard of production. And then things really went away from the Vikings in the second half. The punt goof for Minnesota was huge.
That was the game.
It really was. Now, I think ultimately J.J. McCarthy and the offense are so bad that eventually the Packers would have gone away and found enough plays to score, and Minnesota probably wouldn't have answered. But we have seen McCarthy and the Vikings pull themselves together for like 2 drives late in the game a couple of times already this season. So as long as it was close enough, you couldn't rule it out. But that price thing was huge. Like it's such an unlucky play as well. You get these plays where it's like it's a good punt from the Irishman, Dan Whelan, puts it inside wherever it was to 5.
Put a little Irish spin on it.
Exactly. Somebody was trying to make that point. I think that like
one of your Irish friends. Look at the spin.
I can't rule it out, but I don't think it was. But it's like, yeah, he
only someone with a rugby history.
Irishman Dan Whelan causes the fumble. It's like with the side spin that he put on the ball to make it jump left once it hit the turf. But it's like it's the classic punt returner's back. He plants himself at a yard line. If it goes over his head, he tries to block the gunner so that the gunner can't down the ball. Right? That's the sort of standard sequence of events for a punt returner. And Price has been really good this year, so I'm not dumping on him. He does exactly that. He decides the ball's going over his head. He's not going to field it, so he goes to block a guy, and then the ball takes this like 90-degree jump to the left once it lands and ends up careening off him as he's trying to block a guy. And once you do that, it's a live ball. Packers can recover it. They jump on it. He's not able to get on top of the ball. Insta red zone. Touchdown a second later. Huge play. I've seen people argue, like, just get the hell out of there. Like, what are you doing? It's like, it's not an uncommon thing for him to then try and block a guy and make sure the guy can't down the ball. Maybe you can argue he was too close to the ball to be doing that, but I think you need to look at what that ball did to see how extreme that bounce was to make it a problem.
You're going to have to check the spider cam, see where it landed, see what it was doing in the air.
Anyway, it's like, okay, it's a big mistake from Price. I understand why and what he was doing, though. Like, it's not a crazy thing that he was at to try and make that happen. But that ends up being a massive swing in that game.
Yeah, so it was 10-6 at the time. And Packers scored a 1-yard touchdown right after that. Emmanuel Wilson, 17-6. And it just felt like, okay, that's insurmountable. A dominant 2-play, 5-yard drive by the Packers to go up 17-6. I thought Jordan Love made a couple nice plays while getting hit. Didn't really need much from him. They just fed Emmanuel Wilson, shortened the game. The Vikings only ran 44 plays offensively, 2 for 9 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth down. 44 plays for 145 yards for the Vikings. I thought JJ, nice little dig route to Justin Jefferson early on, and that was pretty much it.
52 net passing yards for the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. That's not ideal.
Before we break down JJ and some of the numbers behind it, I thought Micah Parsons just every week, man, but just creating havoc in multiple ways, right? They had 2 sacks on plays where Micah did not have the sack, but they had him just kind of playing linebacker and decide whether he's deciding or they've got it predetermined. He's going to rush over right guard or left guard and just try to blow up the play. He blows up, even if he didn't have the pressure, he's just messing up entire blocking schemes. So there was 2 sacks there. And then another play where he absolutely smoked Darisaw, leading to a sack for someone else. And then 2 plays where he just smoked Darisaw 4 sacks, either around the outside and to the inside. Darisaw had a rough game at left tackle for Minnesota, but I thought Micah Parsons did his usual, and it showed up in the stat sheet for him, but also in the stat sheet for others using Micah Parsons to blow up plays.
Darrisaw left the game as well. Is
he playing through injury this entire season?
Well, remember, so he came back from his injury, and they had that weird situation where they had him on a pitch count coming back to the point where they took him out of the game, like in a critical late game situation. It's like, oh, he's just reached his pitch count, so your left tackle isn't playing anymore. I don't know. That's an unusual way to come back from an injury for a guy like that. I don't know if is he just 80% this entire season? Like, what is the deal with Darrisaw? But yeah, he left the game again. So Justin School comes in at left tackle. He's the guy that gets wrecked by Rashawn Gary for that interception play where Gary gets all the way around School, who got chipped to the tight end. He just runs around that, runs all the way around the left tackle, and then makes the play on J.J. McCarthy with the deep play action drop. Darrisaw was getting wrecked anyway, but I don't know if I don't know how healthy he is.
So I know I saw the raw numbers out there for J.J. McCarthy and putting them into historical context. Like an interception like that, like I don't think J.J. is seeing the field well. Like I don't think he's doing great, but he's essentially strip sacked ball.
Yeah, that one.
But the ball tips up. Right. And it's an interception rather than a strip sack.
That really one's not really on him.
And then he has it's 23-6 late, and he sails one for an interception. And
that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad miss, but it's like, all right, it's already 23-6. The damage has been done.
Yeah, but it's also one of those ones where it's like, it feels like you're, rather than at least trying to salvage some respectability out of the game, you're just imploding.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's the same throw that Caleb made that was dropped for an interception.
Sure.
Just
but in a different
catching
situation.
Strays,
in a different context.
Pull out the stat that you had on JJ.
There's a couple that are pretty hilarious, not if you're a Vikings fan. Where's this one? So there's one, which is in the last 30 seasons, there have been only 2 Vikings quarterbacks who've thrown 2 interceptions in 3 consecutive games. They are 2012 first-round pick and future of the franchise, Christian Ponder, and 2024 first-round pick and future of the franchise, J.J. McCarthy. That's not a great connection if you're trying to be optimistic about his future. Then there's the tweet that, where the hell is this? Oh, here we go. Anthony Amico via Danny Heifetz from your Nemesis podcast.
Nemesis.
J.J. McCarthy now ranks 851 out of 852 quarterbacks in EPA per dropback among qualified passers since 2000 per True Media. The only player below J.J. McCarthy is Jamarcus Russell.
Oh.
And remember, Jamarcus Russell is arguably the largest figurative and metaphorical and physical bust in NFL history. The guy who they had to trick into showing that he wasn't actually watching tape by sending home videos and him being like, oh yeah, I watched them when they were blank videos. And he kind of ate himself out of the league. I mean, he's as bad a cautionary tale as you could possibly find at the quarterback position. Johnny Manziel, who openly is now admitted to literally watching 0 tape in the NFL, has been better than J.J. McCarthy so far in his NFL career. And look.
And that's not through a certain amount of time. That's just 6 games
period.
of J.J. period against.
And it's only 6 games, right? It's incredible. And he's still the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL. And who knows what his career may eventually yield. But right now, it is non-functional, it is catastrophic, and it is murdering the Minnesota Vikings. There was a play in there. He just operates so slowly. It's not...
Yeah.
There was a play in there where he escapes quick pressure from Rashawn Gary and then just kind of stands there paralyzed and can't make a decision as Devontae Wyatt is moving slowly in his direction, unblocked. And he's like, he knows it's coming. He's sliding to his left. He's like, I got to get away from the large, slow-moving defensive tackle heading in my direction. Oh, where do I go here? And eventually he gets sacked by the guy who was moving slowly in his direction inexorably. And it's like, come on, you can't. I understand it's 3rd down, but the ball's got to come out somewhere.
You're like Chris. Once you start making the noises, you know something's going down.
It's just
all that
so
said,
slow. You can't do that.
I don't think you get the full gist of it watching the broadcast. Like when you watch the all-22 angles, there are plays that come open, right? There are plays where I'm visualizing JJ in the pocket, and it's just the reads. It's just not there, right? Like I have 2 plays where I thought he turned down third down conversion opportunities where he's either checking down at the wrong time or vacating the pocket or whatever it might be. And I'm just picturing Sam Darnold last year. Maybe he's taking a hit, but he's holding it that extra beat to get to the right throw, or he's checking down at the right time. The timing is all off.
You know what he's playing like right now? He's playing like Justin Fields if Justin Fields wasn't an athletic super freak. Like it's all one read. It's all slow developing. It's all just slow, like stare down a target and wait till it comes open and then let rip.
And a few of those let rip throws have been very good.
Yeah.
Right? Which includes what should have been a game winner, potential game winner last week to Jordan Addison.
Because the arm talent is there, same as it is with Justin Fields. And again, really Justin Fields, so much of the problem is the quote unquote turn downs as much as anything else. It's what you're passing up to be paralyzed in the pocket and not make plays as much as it is about your misses and the inefficiency of your passing. It's non-functional. And the only reason Justin Fields has been functional to any degree is because his athleticism is so spectacular that despite all these missed plays or, non-efficiency as a passing quarterback, you're going to take off and extend a play and make some special things happen with your legs. This is like, what if we just turned Justin Fields into a pocket quarterback that's not going to move?
It's a really interesting comparison because I think that captures it pretty well. The more concerning thing for J.J. McCarthy and the production number, because I want to preface this really quick. It's worth mentioning. I don't think this is close to the worst quarterback play I've seen, despite that number.
This century.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone, fire up YouTube. Throw on some 2011 Jacksonville Jaguars, Blaine Gabbert rookie season. Blaine Gabbert's rookie season was rough, man. And credit to Gabbert. Like, he came out of it and became a reasonable backup at points in his career where he went out and played some okay football. He's got a Super Bowl ring or two or whatever it is, right? But Blaine Gabbert as a rookie was so over his head. To the point where I remember watching Monday Night Football, like right around this time of year, Week 12, and he stepped up in the pocket and overthrew a pass, and everybody's like, there it is. He stepped up in the pocket. I know he missed the throw, but he was so bad under pressure that the fact that he stepped up one time, even though he missed the throw, was like, all right, baby steps. So Gabbert, John Skelton had some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen.
I do believe, we were talking about this yesterday, I believe that Skelton is the low watermark for me. John Skelton was cartoon levels of terrible. Like I think he was football Wile E. Coyote, where it's like he drops back to pass and then like boulder in the face. It was like the most absurd Looney Tunes level of awful I've ever seen at quarterback. Somebody, by the way, in my mentions after that tweet where I quote tweeted it, they were using a different app, so it's a different thing, but like they couldn't replicate the list that he got. But it was worst EPA per play by this list that this guy put together. Jamarcus Russell is, in fact, the worst by a considerable distance. Jared Goff's rookie season, second worst.
I was going to bring that up. It was bad.
Derek Anderson. Brady Quinn.
Are these just rookie seasons then?
This might be what this guy's doing, but anyway, John Skelton, Josh Rosen. These are the worst EPA per plays that this guy's put together.
I mean, when Bryce Young was going through this, by the way, Bryce Young had stretches that were awful.
Yeah.
And when Bryce Young was going through it, I kept referencing Goff, right? So if you're a Vikings fan, you go back and you say, okay, we've seen people come out of this. Goff came out of it. Bryce Young came out of it, even though he's had some ups and downs since that point. He absolutely came out of the disastrous
level. Yeah, I mean, he went from so bad they benched him and pretty much wrote him off at that point to at least at the moment it's still up in the air as to whether he's a functional quarterback going forward.
But Jared Goff's 2016, he also didn't start until right around week 10 or 11, 12. It was last year of Jeff Fisher. The offense was horrible. I'll never forget the play where there were 4 receivers within 5 yards of each other in like a box. And I'm like, what is this? This is the worst offense I've ever seen. But also Goff looked so overwhelmed. And within a year, he had Sean McVay and was looking great. The concern, so on one hand, players have come out of this, right? Goff, Bryce Young, Gabbert didn't really, but whatever. I've seen worse quarterback play than J.J. McCarthy. The concern is that he stepped into what felt like one of the best situations a quarterback has ever stepped into in the last 10 years for a rookie. You have Justin Jefferson. You have Jordan Addison. You have T.J. Hawkinson. You have a revamped offensive line, which I don't think they've had injuries and they haven't played as well. And you have Kevin O'Connell. And you have Kevin O'Connell, who just rejuvenated Sam Darnold and maybe taught Daniel Jones a whole bunch of football that helped him in Indianapolis, whatever. Led Kirk Cousins to his best season. We have Kevin O'Connell, who every quarterback he has been with in the last 5 years has been excellent and excelled, or at least maximized their potential. And you have this great group of playmakers. That's the problem. When you go back to Jared Goff, when you go back to Bryce Young, in the awful seasons, they had a bad offensive line, they had a bad system, they had bad pass catchers. There were excuses that you could put right next to their poor play. And I don't have that for JJ right now. Maybe the offensive line a little bit yesterday. Yeah, they got whooped.
The offensive line is definitely a variable where it has not been as good as it was supposed to be and as they wanted it to be when they overhauled it. And it keeps getting hurt and it keeps getting banged up. They have yet to have the starting five that they wanted to have going into the season play together. Darrisaw may be playing 80% the entire year. Who the hell knows what his health issue is? And the drop-off between Darrisaw when they have to go to Justin School or anybody else at left tackle is a catastrophe. But you also have to understand how much J.J. McCarthy is factoring into that as well. Like his average time to throw this season is over 3 seconds for a guy who isn't Justin Fields, who isn't running around extending it with scrambles behind the line of scrimmage, a guy who's just standing there gormlessly staring down receivers with a 3 seconds a clip with a bad offensive line. Like he's making the offensive line look worse than it is, even if the offensive line has been bad. But the thing is, like, you cannot have Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, Adam Thielen, and Jalen Naylor all played in this game and combined for like 80-something yards. That's awful.
That's what's rough, and that's what the difference is when you compare J.J. McCarthy's early struggles with other quarterbacks with early struggles. You could easily make the excuse for their entire supporting cast and or play caller, and you don't have that in Minnesota. So now the Vikings, just to finish this up, though, Vikings are at a tough spot because J.J.'s not ready, and they have a playoff caliber team. I know they're 4-7. They have a playoff caliber roster, and they have built this roster with veterans. They have not drafted in volume the last few years. They have not drafted particularly well the last few years as far as bringing in a lot from the draft because they've traded a bunch and brought in veterans, right? They've brought in this defense mostly through the veteran route. And so now you've got this 52 players that are prepared to like challenge for the top of the NFC, and you have a quarterback who's the youngest starter, as you say, who's not ready. And so and by the way, Sam Darnold has gone somewhere else and performed well. And so that's the tricky part for Minnesota, both right now and going forward for decision-making purposes. They're a team that's built to win now with a quarterback who's not ready to play.
Well, they have two problems. They have an acute problem and they have a chronic problem. The acute problem is that next week's opponents are the Seattle Seahawks and their defense. And right now, J.J. McCarthy is non-functional as a starting quarterback and probably has his confidence in the tank, right? Do you sit him down? Because, like, what's better for his confidence? Benching him for Max Brosmer, who I don't even know how you say his name. That's, do you bench him for the guy that looks like Paxton Lynch and I don't know what his name is? Or do you play him against one of the most murderous defenses in the NFL, which is more likely to absolutely break the man? I am not sure what the answer to that question is. And then you have the chronic problem, which is, like you've articulated, this is basically a championship caliber roster with a quarterback that's non-functional. And I don't know what the development solution to that is. Can you sit him down and then come back to him in a year or two's time? Where do you get the veteran quarterback in between? Do you go, is this a team that then goes shopping for a Jacoby Brissett in the offseason and hope he's the guy that can do this? Like they went from an answer at quarterback to no answer at quarterback, and that's just a difficult spot in the NFL.
I know we didn't talk about the Packers as much here, so if you tuned in to hear more Packers talk, took care of business. Micah Parsons, pass rush. I think they did a nice job. Defense did a nice job. Can't wait to see them play Thanksgiving against the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Another good game from Christian Watson as well. Keeps making plays. Like, he's been remarkably efficient after injury.
Absolute key player, man, for that offense.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.